could see you feel and care the welfare of things. Hope you can hear the whispering of a crying heart. We do not wish to be done. We can achieve everything we only pray to have. Is the endless understand organization of SPMUDA, upholding peace and unity, with hand in hand facing the challenges, obstacles and blissfulness. Here you will not be alone. Your heart will always be cared. SPMUDA is a paradise of the souls blessed with heart. Here in SPMUDA, Christians and Muslims are united. Here in SPMUDA, equal races, no oppression. And if this will taken away, what would I serve with my life already giving all to you? Here in SPMUDA is a home for tribal people. Here in SPMUDA, love, peace and hope for humanity, blessed by God for humankind, in our heart and soul, for the world until the day I die. I swear with dignity and for eternity, my loyalty to SPMUDA.
A warm welcome and a beautiful hello to ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host today, and my name is Sameera Aziz. I'm a Saudi media person and a businesswoman based in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the International Peace Conference 2020 here in the digital world, where people are globally connected. Someone said that being human in the digital world is about building a digital world for humans. Building peace in the digital age has been a comfort, but challenging as well. And the pandemic of the novel coronavirus brought another challenge and complication. To complicate matters, the impact of the virus has varied between different regions and conflict zones, making it challenging to render broad judgments about its consequences. It affected the risk of violent conflict and the prospects of peace around the world. The crisis is still unfolding in surprising ways, and assessments about its ramifications shift daily. Ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers, today is the 27th September of the year 2020, and you are witnessing this International Peace Conference live at Zoom platform, and this event is live streamed at the Facebook page as well, which is Sameera Aziz Official. And kindly note that this event will also be available at our YouTube channel, Sameera Aziz Official. Thank you for joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers. In recent months, our nation and the entire planet has been struck by a new invisible enemy, which is COVID-19. This pandemic crossed borders and cultures indiscriminately, affecting people's lives, regardless of their race or religion. We will defeat this virus and the pandemic and emerge stronger than ever before, inshallah. Amid suffering and uncertainty, the COVID-19 pandemic has brought to the fore for urgency to better organize the planet through innovative new forms of collective action. During this International Peace Conference today, we will unite for a coalition call to defeat COVID-19. Today, we will talk about the need to have united and combined efforts that can slow down COVID-19 pandemic. We will be sharing sensible thoughts that can bring positive change and a good start for a better world. We will also be honoring great frontliners who inspired us with their double time efforts. We will discuss on how COVID-19 affected individual, family, group, institution, and governments and the economy. What will be the expectation of everyone when COVID-19 is over, and what are the plans for the next pandemic, God forbid if it happens again in future? Ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers, the International Peace Conference 2020 is organized by Sameera Aziz Events, which is my own event company under the umbrella of SPMUDA International for Peace and Development, which is non-profit, non-partisan NGO affiliated to the United Nations Departments of Economic and Social Affairs, European Commission, ASEAN Youth, Friends of the Commonwealth, and 28 other prestigious international humanitarian organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers, let me inform you the names of our today's think tank of speakers who will be providing advices and ideas on COVID-19 crisis. First of all, today, the opening message of the founder of SPMUDA International, His Royal Highness Datu Dr. Kamad Ali, will be presented by Dr. Amor B. Pendalide, who is an acting president of SPMUDA International. Our first speaker will be Mr. Shyam Singhania. He is a philanthropic peace promoter and the chairman of ENAR Group. Our another speaker is Mr. Nileband. He is a peace promoter and the president of World Peace Friendship Mission. While our one speaker is Dr. Tariq Khan Niazi as well. He is an international media person and former advisor of the peace man, Mr. Nelson Mandela. Today, so many peace promoters and peacekeepers are joining us to strengthen their promise of giving a peaceful and comfortable world to humanity. They will be discussing and asking questions with speakers at the last session of the conference. Ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers, His Royal Highness Datu Dr. Kamad M. Ali is the most central figure recognized by the international leaders and community for his outstanding humanitarian efforts, which promotes in the world a better interreligious harmony and understanding that helps to build bridges between the Islamic cultures and Western countries. His Royal Highness Dr. Ali is also recognized by the International Association of Nobles in Europe and other royal, noble charity and humanitarian institutions. He is the founder of SPMUDA International, which is a registered non-profit and non-partisan NGO. It has branches in 193 countries, represented by its volunteer goodwill ambassadors to link and collaborate understanding, friendship, and cooperation on matters of mutual interest for welfare and benefit of underprivileged and the needy. The SPMUDA is registered and affiliated to the United Nations NGO branch, Department of Economic Social Affairs, European Commission, ASEAN Youth, Friends of Commonwealth, and 28 other prestigious international humanitarian organizations. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, before presenting the message of His Royal Highness, Dato Dr. Kamad Ali, I would like to present a video in front of you. So I will request our technical team manager, Mr. Junaid Ashfaq, to play the video. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers. Dr. Amor B. Pandalede is the Minister of BARMM Commission on Higher Education. Dr. Pandalede is a SPMUDA Goodwill Ambassador, and currently he is an acting president of SPMUDA International Chamber of Commerce and Industry Philippines chapter. He is also the president of the Bangsamoro Oil and Fuels Corporation in Muslim Mindanao, Philippines. He is a young and idealistic with burning dynamism towards the adaptation of the various business environment. I would like to request Mr. Amor B. Pandalede to present the message of the founder of president of SPMUDA International Organization for Peace and Development, His Royal Highness Dr. Datu Kamad Ali. Mr. Amor Pandalede, we welcome you.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The founder and president of SPMUDA International Organization for Peace and Development, His Royal Highness Dr. Datu Kamad Mangutar Ali, has honored me to deliver his message on the occasion of the 2020 International Peace Day. Dr. Ali holds the distinction of being the Prime Minister of the Royal House of Baloy, Mindanao, Darussalam in the Philippines. He also gave me opportunity to speak about the business prospects of SPMUDA to be implemented in the coming years, inshallah. Your Royal Highnesses, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, peace and good health to all countries. Their Excellencies, Sameera Aziz, Goodwill Ambassador at Large for Women and Children of Middle East and Gulf countries, the international community, the missionary volunteers of SPMUDA, Goodwill Ambassador Club, and the global non-governmental organizations and international government organizations. This is not the end of the world, but just a beginning of our hope to have a better world of living. Thank you for hosting and convening this important event of International Peace Day. While the COVID-19 global pandemic is the foremost health crisis that affects and threatens seriously global peace and security, failure of the creation of global coalition of responses, leading to an increase of more problems and issues. The world now faces its gravest, while every country suffered the devastating consequences of COVID-19 pandemic, plus blasting explosions, bombings, and escalating terrorism that killed innocent civilians. We are already witnesses by seeing the ruinous political, social, and economic impacts, while the world struggles to find most effective responses to rising unemployment and hunger. In our 10 months monitoring and assessment of the worst situation through the combined efforts of our goodwill ambassadors on the ground in the less developed countries with the cooperation of our strategic alliances and partners, we observe the following pressing issues that need urgent actions. Number one, the excessive political opportunism that divided people to work together to heal the wounds. Number two, the eroded public trust to public institutions that some authorities mishandled public funds, as well as some NGOs and international government organizations that receive funds for responses due to not transparent and accountability. Number three, the economic instability have devastating impacts for women and children's sectors, especially in conflict-affected areas due to escalation of violence. Number four, the weaknesses of aid responses, both from government units and the private sectors due to massive cheating and corruption in some countries. Number five, the untimely and wrong movement of terroristic activities that will lead us to more chaos and widespread of the virus. Number six, the crisis also triggering human rights challenges. Despite our very limited resources, as well as 100% not funded by any sector, we in SPMUDA International Organization for Peace and Development do our level best to share our contribution by demonstrating our physical activity on the ground to inspire more citizens to follow us, as well as open our call to state leaders to unite under emergency coalition and set aside political power and interest. No government will succeed to restore stability without civilian support and cooperation. We in SPMUDA International offer our condolences and deep sympathy to all countries. Humanities first. God bless us all. As of September 26, yesterday, COVID-19 pandemic has affected 215 countries with 33,046,363 cases and 998,276 deaths. The least affected country is Anguilla in the Caribbean with just 3 cases and no death. The Philippines is number 21 in the list with 301,256 cases and 5,284 deaths. In the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, we have 1,054 total cases with 41 deaths as of yesterday, September 26. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, around 4.6 million workers are now unemployed in the Philippines, or an unemployment rate of 10%. This situation is now pushing millions of the people to the brink of starvation. But the Philippine government and the Bangsamoro RMM government are doing all their best effort to remedy the situation by giving rice and food, medicine, hygiene kits, monetary assistance, or cash aid, some interest-free loans, rescheduling of loan payments, and so on and so forth. Led by our founder and president, His Royal Highness Dr. Kamad M. Ali, we in SPMUDA International Organization for Peace and Development strive very hard to realize projects that we think can help solve several socioeconomic problems in the Philippines and elsewhere. Thus, we respectfully seek your full support and cooperation in funding the following proposed beneficial projects for the people of the Philippines and elsewhere in Southeast Asia. First, establishment of the SPMUDA International College. Second, establishment of the Kambukamad Agriculture Microfinance Institution. Third, establishment of the SPMUDA Islamic Bank. Fourth, creation of affordable housing projects. Fifth, establishment of agricultural trading centers in every village. Sixth, establishment of halal feeds production processing plants. Seventh, establishment of halal goat, cattle, and poultry production. Eighth, establishment of youth and sports centers. Number ninth, establishment of oil depot and petrol stations. In the future, SPMUDA plans to establish hospitals, health centers, pharmacies, and volunteer ambulance services in the rural areas in the Philippines and elsewhere in Southeast Asia, inshallah. These will cater to poor and marginalized citizens who cannot afford hospitalization expenses. On the business aspect, SPMUDA also plans to establish halal-compliant hotels, resorts, and restaurants in the Philippines, inshallah. SPMUDA welcomes investors, bankers, and philanthropists who will be interested in financing the establishment of the aforementioned establishment project, inshallah. Finally, as we virtually celebrate online the International Day of Peace, let me greet all of you with the universal Islamic greetings of Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Amor B. Pendelide, for presenting the time slot to speak about the business prospects of SPMUDA to be implemented in the coming years.
Inshallah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the SPMUDA welcomes investors and philanthropists who will be interested in financing the establishment of the SPMUDA International on the field of education, agriculture, microfinance, Islamic banking, affordable housing projects, agriculture trading centers, halal feed production and processing plants, halal goat, cattle and poultry production, youth and sports centers, oil depots, and petrol stations. I'm sure that these projects will cater to underprivileged and marginalized citizens of the world. I'm proud to be among one of the goodwill ambassadors of SPMUDA International with the honorable and official title of Princess. This honor indeed possesses a great responsibility for me. To give you some glimpse On this matter, I would like to request our technical team manager, Mr. Junaid, to play the video about the organizer of the International Peace Conference. Junaid, over to you.
مخرجة سينمائية سعودية.
وجدت أقوى وسيلة للوصول في القرن 21 هي الأفلام، وقد تعلمت صناعة الأفلام من المخرجين في هوليوود، وقمت بالمشاركة في أفلام هنا بالسعودية من أجل أن أنقل صورة واقعية عن المجتمع السعودي، ولكن لا زلت صحفية، والصحافة في قلبي.
बसत खुलूस बसत एहतमाम पैदा कर खामोशियों में भी शाने कलाम पैदा कर.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I would like to introduce you with our first speaker, Mr. Shyam Ramkrishna Singhania. Friends, the Singhania family is a prominent Indian business family having its root for over 150 years. Mr. Singhania's family is known for their philanthropic activities and social work. Mr. Singhania is the founder and managing trustee of well-known NGO Nana Nani Foundation, in existence for over 2 decades, serving the much-needed cause of care for the elderly and now moving towards excellence in aging. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Singhania is the mentor of World Peace Friendship Mission India to South Africa on the ideology of greats like Mahatma Gandhi, Khan, Abdul Ghaffar Khan, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, and Nelson Mandela, besides others. Bestowed with many awards and recognitions, Mr. Singhania has been associated with the media and entertainment industry for the last few decades, with a focus on investing in the mainstream Indian movies, regional and international films, television, and other media assets in his individual capacity. He has recently acquired a well-known Bollywood magazine called Films Today, in circulation for nearly 13 years, along with its event division with execution of national and international events for over 12 years. He is the chairman of INAR Group, which offers a diverse range of services and solutions in the structured finance, debt, private equity, and M&A areas to large corporates, working closely with domestic and international financial institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Singhania lives in South Mumbai with his family and believes in the values and culture of a joint family system. He is guided and assisted by his younger brother, Mr. Padam, and their sons, who are continuing heirs of this legacy. So, with warm welcome for Mr. Shyam Ramkrishna Singhania, I would like to request him to enlighten us with his great thoughts in the platform of International Peace Conference. Mr. Shyam Singhania.
So thank you very much for this kind introduction, Sameera. I'm truly humbled. And Sameera and all excellencies and peace ambassadors on this platform, greetings from India and good evening. I feel very humbled to be invited on this platform to share my thoughts and with all the important leaders who are going to talk, and especially Doctor who's already spoken, and the kind of things that they and Dr. Kamad Ali, His Excellency Dr. Kamad Ali, are doing to fight COVID-19. I am really thankful to my dear colleague and friend on this platform, Dr. Nilay Band, who has introduced me to Mrs. Sameera Aziz. My speech revolves the subject of the importance of making efforts to promote the culture of peace amid COVID-19 upheaval. And if you allow me, I would like to start my talk. I feel privileged. Sameera, I must tell you, your presentation was fantastic, and we are truly honored to be with you on this platform.
Thank you.
Yes. So I feel privileged for having been invited to share my views on this esteemed platform. I strongly feel that the COVID-19 pandemic period has proved to be a learning curve for humanity. It has brought to light the need to respect not only the fellow humans, but the entire species of plants and animals which share the Mother Earth with us. It has taught us the lesson to be at peace with self, control our desires, and stay in discipline. Retaliation of the ecosystem. Technically, humans have invaded the ecosystem, disturbing the harmonious coexistence of plant and all living species, that too on a greed basis and not on a need basis. The fact of the matter is that human touch is lost forever. The pandemic has come as an eye-opener to us to take things in our own hands literally, live a minimalistic life, and follow basic sanitation. I, as a representative from India, feel absolutely blessed to have a strong guiding force which India has as her Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, who took the COVID-19 virus by its spikes by putting a firm foot down to control the pandemic by announcing lockdown at the very early stage of the pandemic. From its very outset, strict guidelines were issued on social distancing and provisions were made for proper sanitization and masks. In India, many organizations, NGOs, and private sector organizations, Bollywood celebrities, industrialists came forward to donate to the Prime Minister's Relief Fund to help the poor and needy, to support the government and our beloved Prime Minister Modi ji. Thus, I feel proud to say that India has seen a huge potential of a united effort to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. On March 24, 2020, the Indian government announced that all individuals within its borders should remain at home for 21 days. India's response to COVID-19 was indeed the most challenging in the world, which affected nearly 1.3 billion people. The lockdown measures which were taken were highly restrictive, allowing for only essential movements of individuals outside their homes. Although its immediate impact was visible from the large-scale movement of the seasonal migrant laborers. Although lockdown was announced all of a sudden in India, but the Indian government took care of every aspect from sanitation and hygiene, hospitalization, transport and security. While the local police agencies were tasked with enforcing social distancing to being the regular contact with citizens needing urgent assistance and were at the forefront of India's public health campaign, providing information and essential supplies. Our hospitals were equipped with medicines, equipments, and 24/7 on duty of healthcare and hygiene professionals. While Indian Railways took charge of the supplies of essential goods, food items, and medicines across the country, which was increased in coordination with the postal departments. While the migrant populations were sent back to their hometowns in special Shramik trains on both Western and Central Railway networks. What is most commendable is that India did not face any problem in supply chain. Our markets are full and running in due hours of the day as per lockdown guidelines, and people do not face any shortage of daily essentials and medicines today. In India, public health strategy has primarily focused on reducing and containing coronavirus infection while gearing up for a strong unified response. The central government's decisive actions in announcing timely ban on travel, sealing of borders, and a near complete lockdown has resulted in relatively low known infections and casualties in India, given its population density. It has also allowed the state health departments to get their health infrastructure, human resources, and medical supplies in place to handle the expected surge in cases. Ministry of Health and Welfare, along with its support institutions, have been at the forefront regularly, releasing clinical and non-clinical guidelines and protocols for COVID-19 pandemic based on the latest evidence, announcing free testing and treatment of COVID under Ayushman Bharat scheme, as well as additional insurance cover of INR 50 lakhs for our frontline healthcare and sanitation workers has been a welcome move. Loans negotiated from World Bank, 2.5 billion approx. Emergency relief and Make in India packages, 2 billion approx. Announced by the government will fund immediate supply needs and strengthen health infrastructure for the future. I foresee a great potential for countries to come together to build sustainable, cost-effective, and equitable healthcare systems to fight the pandemic and in turn support the healthcare workers. COVID-19 is not only a fight for the frontliners, but it is our collective effort. They are the first and often the only point of contact with the health system for millions of people. We need not only to respect the frontline warriors and their contributions, but also ensure that their safety and dignity are protected too. Stigma and discrimination can occur when people link a disease such as COVID-19 with a population, community, or nationality. We need to show much more compassion and understanding towards the COVID-19 survivors and especially the healthcare professionals, which will help them to do their jobs more efficiently. India, the land of spirituality and festivities, yet again took all the pain caused by the pandemic in its stride to fade away all negativity. PM Modi ji urged all to light lamps and blow horns while prayer ceremonies were organized in the honor of the frontliners and victims of COVID-19 pandemic across the globe on the day of Buddha Purnima. We all need to unite irrespective of religion, caste, creed, nationality, political backgrounds to support our respective governments, since every individual counts in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. On March 24, the first lockdown was announced in India when we had just 600 cases and 10 deaths. Strict guidelines on social distancing along with provision of masks and sanitization were made. The question is, how can you stop the pandemic if people and organizations don't follow the guidelines? One such example in India that is related to the spread of the disease was a gathering organized by the Tablighi Jamaat, where a huge gathering assembled inside a closed premise over a protected period of time and without any semblance of social distancing or provision of masks and sanitizers. The attendees traveled later to different parts of the country and even internationally. How can we stop the pandemic if people and organizations are sometimes so careless? India had taken a leading role in global fight against COVID-19. India was the first country who started scanning passengers coming from China and Iran. On March 15, India created SARC COVID-19 pandemic fund to help South Asian countries to fight the pandemic. India contributed $10 million out of the $21.8 million. India also sent surgical masks, digital thermometers, and other medical supplies to Maldives, Bhutan, etc., while doctors and nurses were sent in response to the calls made by Kuwait and UAE. India also led the G20 countries to come together to fight the pandemic. I feel that every nation has the right to live with respect and no other nation can venture into someone else's territory. India has been surrounded by a very unique combination of neighboring countries sharing difficult relations with some of its neighbors, whereas tensions have been the center point when it comes to security and defense policies of India. Our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji has constantly been trying for the last 6 years to bring normality and harmony with its neighbors and create a peaceful environment in a very hostile geopolitical climate. On the other hand, there are multiple small-sized countries like Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and Maldives that not only rely heavily on India with regard to its economic prosperity, but also political stability and security. Even in the domestic front, Prime Minister Modi has not only tried to restore peace and harmony in the country as diverse as India, but also in the volatile South Asian region. His efforts to bring regions like Jammu and Kashmir and Nagaland into the main framework of the Indian democracy by ending Article 370 in J&K and his government signing the peace accord with Naga tribes in 2015 are much applaudable. India has a culture of joint families as a traditional format where even the grandparents live together with their children and grandchildren. The pandemic has certainly strengthened the bonds in the family relationships, as now they have time to watch television, movies, and have meals together, creating greater understanding and bonds between parents, children, and siblings. Social distancing and work from home, the new way of life, saw significant effect on India media consumption. Television was always the screen of the household in India and now even more vital in its role. We have seen a 40 to 45% growth. In the first 21 days of the lockdown, television news showcased a 57% growth in viewership at an all India level. According to BARC Nielsen data, total television consumption grew by 8% across India during COVID-19 disruption period. The data reveals that Indians spend more time on news, GECs, general entertainment channels, and movies, while there is no fresh content on GEC, and broadcasters have no choice than to play the old shows. While mythology picked up the trends in India, with soaps like Ramayana and Mahabharata were relaunched on Doordarshan, which is owned by the government of India, which saw TRP soaring heights during the pandemic. While OTTs have seen a huge spike in the viewership, a lot of digital content being released on Amazon Prime, Netflix, from web series, movies to much more. With a gradual reopening of the economy post-lockdown, advertisers from FMCG, e-commerce, automobiles, etc. are recording higher volumes and according to BARC, and this is a good positive step. COVID-19 has given great opportunities to showcase art, music through digital concerts, breaking down the geographical boundaries, especially if we talk about Indian classical music and dance forms, Many platforms are opening up to showcase a traditional art form, but still commercial viability is very narrow. A relief package worth rupees 1.7 lakh crore, I think it is about $22 billion, has been earmarked for the needy to be dispersed by the Indian government. The Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana provides to people cover under it 5 kilos of rice wheat for 3 months at no cost. As per RBI guidelines in India, relief schemes on home and retail loans will help the citizens for the time being, which comes with a condition that borrowers have to show loss of income. In the COVID-19 pandemic, maintaining business cash flow has been a core goal of the fiscal policy measures introduced by the government to support businesses. Many countries, including the GCC nations, including Kuwait, Bahrain, are implementing emergency tax measures in terms of extending the due date of filing tax returns without penalties, payment of taxes in installments, the deferral of tax payments, the provision of faster tax refunds, more generous loss offset provisions, and some tax exemptions, including from social security contributions, payroll taxes, or property taxes. These initiatives offered by the tax authorities aim to stimulate the economy and provide necessary support to the private sector in managing compliance and payment of taxes. Central Bank of UAE has launched an AED 100 billion comprehensive economic support system for retail and corporate customers affected by COVID-19. Abu Dhabi Executive Council announced an economic stimulus package which includes allocating AED 3 billion to the SME credit guarantee scheme. Dubai government launched an AED 1.5 billion economic stimulus package which seeks to enhance liquidity and reduce the impact of the current global economic situation. The UAE government paid the costs related to stem cell therapy of critical patients of COVID-19. Emirates Red Crescent became a patron and provided care to the families of those who died of COVID-19. The UAE set up a fund named the Fund of the United Arab Emirates, Homeland of Humanity, to unify the national efforts to combat the illness. The UAE provided humanitarian aid to many countries to help them fight the illness. The Saudi government has announced a set of support packages targeting the private sector, totaling almost $61 billion. The package includes exemptions and the postponement of some government dues, that is about 18.6 billion, and a 13.3 billion package to support the banking and SME sectors, a 13.3 billion allocation to ensure that government dues to the private sector are paid in a timely manner, and a wage subsidy of 60% up to SAR 9,000 per employee per month of Saudi employees' salaries in the private sector. Saudi government aims at aiding individuals, investors, and the private sector amid the ongoing circumstances while enhancing their roles in developing the kingdom's economy. Under the new decision, Saudi employees working in private entities hit by the coronavirus will continue to benefit from the unemployment insurance. This is a great welcome step. The Pakistan government has also approved a rupees 1200 billion relief package to deal with the growing COVID-19 crisis. A transition to the next normal in whatever form that takes will come gradually when people have confidence that they can do what they used to do without endangering themselves or others. Gaining that confidence will require a continuation of the progress made to reduce mortality and complications, as well as further scientific study regarding long-term health consequences for recovered patients. To achieve that, we will need to see significant progress on the epidemiological endpoint, including an effective vaccine receiving emergency use authorization approval during the fourth quarter of 2020 or the first quarter of 2021, followed by a smooth rollout and adoption by high-risk populations. Favorable findings on natural and cross immunity would help accelerate timelines. Both the epidemiological and normalcy ends to COVID-19 pandemic are important. The transition to the next normal will mark an important social and economic milestone, and herd immunity will be a more definitive end to the pandemic. I would like to conclude by saying that it's time to stay positive and support our respective governments. I would yet again appeal each and every global citizen to unite irrespective of religion, caste, creed, nationality, political background to support our respective governments, since every individual counts in the fight against COVID-19 pandemic. I thank you once again, madam, for inviting me to speak here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Shyam Ram Krishna Singhania. You spoke brilliantly about respecting the contribution of frontliners and healthcare professionals and the need to address issues of stigma and discrimination of patients, and also the healthcare workers combating with COVID-19, and the importance of enhancing positivity with spirituality, and the need for every nation to control the lapses which lead to spread of the disease. And you also spoke about restoring peace and the harmony among the nations during testing times, the social impact on the family of COVID-19 and how it brought a digital revolution, boosting the OTTs and television TRPs in India, and beginning of economy to open gradually post-lockdown, promotion of art, music, and culture through digital concerts, and especially at this time when the economy is on all-time low. There is a need for governments to help the citizens. Brilliant. Yes, indeed, a time to stay positive and support our respective governments. It's a real time. And I second Mr. Singhania for his appeal from each and every global citizen to unite, irrespective of religion, caste, creed, nationality, political backgrounds, to support our respective governments, since every individual counts in the fight against COVID-19's pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers, now I would like to request our technical team manager, Mr. Junaid, to play the video of ENAR Group. Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next speaker was Mr. Tariq Khan and Niazi, and I cannot see him here, but in the beginning of this conference, he was there, I saw him. So we have to move ahead, and I would like to request to our technical team manager, Mr. Junaid Ashfaq, to play another video of World Peace Friendship Mission.
Our NGO, Nagpur Adventure and Sports Association India, is organizing a World Peace and Friendship Mission India to South Africa based on the ideology of Mahatma Gandhi, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, and Nelson Mandela. The objective of this peace mission is to make aware and educate the youth about the importance of peace and friendship for their self-development and progress of their nations together with global brotherhood. To realize this noble goal, team leader Mr. Nilay Band gathered about 70 peacekeepers from 20 nations across 5 continents of the world to raise the voice of peace. The peace mission would begin on February 7, 2021 from Gandhi Ashram in Sevagram, India. The mission would visit 14 nations of Asia and Africa and conclude at Phoenix Settlement in South Africa on March 12, 2021 under the headship of Mrs. Ela Gandhi, the granddaughter of Mahatma Gandhi. The mission has received clearance from Ministry of External Affairs and support of Ministry of Home and Ministry of Education under Government of India. Rotary Club of Nagpur West, a local body of Rotary International, is co-organizer of this novel peace mission. The participating team is representing nations like India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Israel, Palestine, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Australia, UK, Croatia, Bosnia, Japan, and USA. The peace team would undertake and perform various peace promoting activities in all visiting countries to attract and involve local people for highlighting the significance of peace. This include peace march, cycle and bike rally, debate and quiz for youth, posters and painting displays, college and campus gathering of students, blood and eye donation camps, peace song and dance competition, and much more. We propose to begin our World Peace and Friendship Mission in May 2020 and got clearance of Government of India. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19 crisis around the world, we are compelled to defer it as there are restrictions on international travel because of health issues. Now we will begin it in 2021 at the end of COVID-19 pandemic.
Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers, I would like to introduce you with our next speaker, Mr. Nilay Band. He has a long experience of 25 years to undertake various projects to promote peace in India and the world based on Gandhian thoughts. He arranged many youth awareness and educational programs. He conducted peace rallies in many states of India, bike peace mission undertaken in India, Nepal and Tibet to encourage peace, cycle rally to promote blood donation and eye donation, etc., etc., etc. And now his organization is launching World Peace Friendship Mission, India to South Africa to promote peace and friendship in the world. Government of India supports it along with many nations like the UK, Australia, South Africa, European Union, Europe, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and the USA. Mr. Nilay wishes to end the wars, conflicts, unrest, and acts of terrorism from the world and see it peaceful and progressing by making available the positive work avenues to the young generation. He is a sportsman of basketball and table tennis, a banker and a social worker, volunteer of Gandhi Hermitage, secretary of Nagpur Adventure Sports Association, which is registered NGO. And he's a member of Rotary Club of Nagpur West, which is a local body of Rotary International. And Rotary Club of Nagpur West is also a co-host of upcoming World Peace Friendship Mission, by the way. So actually, I would like to call him the Doctor of Peace for his efforts of 25 years, but he doesn't like to be the title as doctor for humbleness. So my dear ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers, I would like to give a warm welcome to this amazing peace lover, Mr. Nilay Band.
Thank you very much, everybody, and good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sameera ma'am, for giving a long introduction about me. I think that I'm not that much capable to bear the load of that introduction you have given. I welcome my peace team who is witnessing this program and my office bearers of Rotary Club of Nagpur West. I welcome all. And I want to highlight here the necessity of peace in the light of COVID-19 pandemic. Other two speakers earlier, Dr. Amor and our mentor, Mr. Shyamji Singhania, they focused on the COVID-19 pandemic, their crisis, their havoc, and the measures to be taken to control it. Various governments are undertaking various things to control it because it's a new virus, and it has given a feeling of helplessness to the people and the countries. But our focus is to encourage and promote peace, to control the COVID-19 virus, because when there is a peace, we can roll out our resources and we can focus on the control of not only the pandemic, but various irregularities in singular nation or various nations. In fact, the COVID-19 pandemic, till today, they have infected about 33 million people across the world. 1 million people, they left this world due to this virus. No vaccine, no medicines, and there is a chaos in the world about the virus. In such circumstances, peace is much more needed in the world for the better cooperation to fight this pandemic. World Peace and Friendship Mission focus to encourage world peace, friendship, togetherness, oneness, the feeling of faith, etc., so that all nations and the global civil society come together to fight this pandemic. Peace does not mean only the tranquility, what we generally feel about it. The peace has a deeper meaning, like you can take illustration of peace. P for peace, it's a promotion and preservation of P for peace, E for education, A for aptitude, C for culture, and lastly, E for environment. When we reach all these objectives, when we fulfill all these objectives and goals, then and then only a serene peace will be achieved. So peace is very important. If you want to encourage the education, aptitude, and preserve the environment, the prerequisite of everything is peace. Unless and until there is a peace, we cannot move ahead with concentration of other subjects which are very necessary, like food, health, shelter, education, business, trade, etc. When there are conflicts, wars, or activities like terrorism and other things, piracy and like that, huge funds are diverted to control all these things. Presently, we are watching the unrest in the world. The reason is virus, the COVID-19 pandemic. But I think various nations settle their enmity or whatever it may be, their politics or their business under this heading of COVID-19. But I feel that peace must be there, because prerequisite of everything is peace. So if there is a peace, we will have a better cooperation. There is no distress, discomfort, and distrust about each other in various nations. If there is a cooperation among various nations, then now the vaccine is on the way to produce. There is a hassle-free distribution of such vaccine across the world, and all the countries of the world, especially from the third world, will be benefited. Because I feel that though the vaccine will come, it will be costlier and difficult for the poor nations or the middle class people to afford the cost of vaccine. So what I feel that peace is a preventive measure to end the crisis of not only COVID-19, but to resolve the issues like poverty, lack of education, then shelter and health problems all over the world. Aiming these objectives, we have planned to undertake World Peace and Friendship Mission, which is beginning from India and will go up to the South Africa. We are covering 14 countries of Asia and Africa. They are Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon, Palestine, Israel, Egypt, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and South Africa. I want to highlight here that this zone or this route is termed as most unrest or disturbed zone of the world, where you will find confrontation, wars, or conflicts among the nation. So we have chosen this way to spread the message of peace and friendship among the people or civil society of this nation and even across the world. Our project is aiming to undertake various social programs and cultural programs in this nation. And thus we have selected an international team of about 70 peacekeepers from across the world. They are representing all 5 continents, and as much as 20 nations are participating in this. Few of them I'm leaving here, they are sitting and listening to me, our objectives of peace. Our Rotary people are also there, which is the backbone of this movement, peace movement and this mission. The Rotary people, they are having expertise, they are having knowledge and expert personnel across the world. It is the biggest civil organization in the world. So we will take the help of Rotary people in all the nations to undertake our various cultural programs to aware and educate local civil society to join the peace concept to end the crisis like COVID-19. We will undertake peace rallies, peace promotion programs, peace dance, or all other posters and debate competition and many other programs, street plays on peace, etc. And we will involve the local people in those programs so that the common people will come to know the importance of peace, and they will join this movement. And so the government of all the nations, all over the world will also think the importance of peace, and they will also join us. Thanks to Government of India, which has given permission to our program, and even the South Africa have got the backing of various nations like UK, USA, and many other nations. But due to this COVID-19 pandemic, we have deferred our mission, and we will undertake it as and when this virus will be eliminated across the world. I will request all the people, the dignitaries present here, to support our global cause in the interest of human society and enlighten the humanity. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Naliban. Thank you so much. You spoke about the importance of peace, faith, and cooperation for better results against the fight with COVID-19. And you are actually right. Beside, many countries are accusing one another of spreading COVID-19 and trying to settle their animosity by increasing tension in the world. If a peaceful and conducive atmosphere is created in the world, then there would be a positive dialogue and proper exchange of information in research, medication, vaccine, and preventative measures that can be adopted to avoid its contamination. Correct, I agree. Mr. Niliban, I wish you and your team best of luck for your peace promotion campaign for encouraging peace and friendship in the world by amassing the society, especially the young generation. And the best of luck for the Guinness Book of World Record attempt of most gathering in the world to lit the candles for peace. This would indeed reflect into factual bonding of global civil society and its esteemed desire for peace in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we had one more speaker with us, but I think he couldn't enter through Zoom, so I was trying to interact with him. So Junaid, can you see Mr. Tariq Khan if he's here? So please connect him. So we will take him for the speech. Mr. Tariq Khan Niazi, if he's there, because he's supposed to enter through Zoom. We will take the question answer session. If Mr. Tariq is not there, please inform me whenever Mr. Tariq will enter and join us. So we will move ahead, definitely. So ladies and gentlemen, you all are actually a fantastic human being because you value peace, because you care about peace. Today, we have many amazing peacekeepers among us. So I want to introduce to all of you, to them. Please note that we have many Rotary Club officials among us, and we have Mr. Tushar Agarwal. He's a president of Rotary Club of Nagpur West. We have Mr. Jayaprakash Sharma. He is the secretary of Rotary Club of Nagpur West. We have Prasanna Kulkarni. He is a former president of Rotary Club of Nagpur West and coordinator of Rotary Club for World Peace and Friendship Mission. And among peacekeepers, we have many people. We have Mr. Chandrasekhar Karkar from India. He's the president of NGO World Peace Friendship Mission, NASA, and also is the manager of World Peace Team. We have Advocate Muhammad Qureshi from Pakistan. He is advocate at Lahore High Court and official of Lawyers Strategic Council and Pakistan Global Initiative. We have Mr. Rafiullah Stanikzai from Afghanistan, and he's working with U.S. Institute of Peace and an experienced peace activist. We have Mr. Vincent Ohega from Tanzania. He's a peace activist and in charge of Voice of Youth of Tanzania. We have Mr. Siswe Villa Kazi from South Africa. He's an actor, writer, workshop facilitator in children theater, and a social activist. We have Mr. William Riegler from USA. He is now teaching in Japan, and he is an executive director of Walk for Peace. We have Ms. Dijana Gragat from Croatia. She participated in the United Nations Peacekeeping Mission in Bosnia, and she is the United Nations Youth Ambassador. We have Mrs. Carol Walden from Australia. She is a peace activist and she's working in Darling Downs Environment Council. We have Ms. Shahida Nas from Pakistan. She is a PhD in English and she's a lecturer in college. She is linked with US consulates as an English instructor, and she has been busy in many peace activities of consulates. So dear members of Rotary Club and the peacekeepers of World Peace Friendship Mission, thank you so much for your presence. Thank you for honoring us by joining International Peace Conference today. And now I would like to request our technical team manager, Mr. Junaid, to unmute the mics of Rotary Club members and peacekeepers for the question and answer session. Yes, Mr. Singhania, my question is for you.
Yep.
Mr. Singhania, you are into so many philanthropic activities and also you are a peace promoter and you are also in the film industry. How you watch films for the purpose of peace, because I know that video or film media is the most powerful medium of today's media. We can change the mindsets. So how you find the film and TV medium for this positive purpose?
Well, it's a very good and a very strong medium, I think, globally, because people do, as you said, people do get influenced by what they watch on television or films. But you see, there are various kinds of films that are made, whether it's a commercial film for a box office jackpot, or whether it's a social impact film. I have done a few social impact films. When you do social impact films, you bring and highlight the cause, and making the money or creating a box office record collection is not the point. You have to send a message. So those films are actually, like a philanthropic activity for spreading the message. Now these films, you have to really have social media support to see that people watch this film in India at international film festivals and others. But if it is commercial films, it's a complete masala, I would like to say. That's a very Hindi word, masala. But in the end, I would say 9 out of 10 films end on a good note and spread a good message that everything is right. So yes, it's a very powerful medium to send out the peace message and any goodwill message.
Do you have any future project for your films regarding this, how you're using this platform as a peace promoter?
Well, on a public platform, I would not like to talk about it, really speaking. But yes, we are doing a social impact film now, but that's on a different cause. It is probably not on just peace, but I think this peace conference has given me a thought that we should do a social impact film. And I think doing a film on your country, madam, on the women of Saudi Arabia, who have come into such freedom thanks to your cause. You have been a spearhead mascot for the Saudi Arabian women, and I think a film on that subject will really be beneficial for the world to see on how Saudi women today are on top of the world thanks to you.
Thank you so much. We have media people, Fawzia Khan, you always have a questions. So how come we go in this conference without having your question, Fawzia? So please unmute your mics and ask questions, whoever want to ask.
Am I audible, madam?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, I'm Jaiprakash Sharma from Rotary Club Nagpur West, Secretary.
Welcome.
My question is to you, madam. You, looking at your profile, looking at your works, you being philanthropist, you being businesswoman, you being a princess, how do you take so much time out for such activities?
This is the question, I always have. I think daily, so many people ask me on daily basis, and I don't know how. I have no answer. Simply follow me in my social media. I think I am an organized person in life. I do proper scheduling, and I do everything. I don't know how, but yeah, I maintain my schedule and I follow it strictly. That is the only.
Yeah, you are so blessed.
Sameera ji, only busy people gets time to do everything.
Yeah, I really never consider myself busy, and I enjoy my work. And I think if I will not be doing all this, then I have nothing to do. So this is my life. So that's why. So, but we have to be disciplined and be strict in our schedule. We have Mr. Niliband. Mr. Niliband, you talk about the Guinness World Record attempt. We want to know more about it.
Well, madam, I have already registered with the Guinness Book of World Records to perform or undertake a new world record for the sake of peace. Our record is not for a pleasure or something else, commercial activity. It is for the world peace only. we have made a concept that we will visit the 14 countries, and at the end at South Africa, we will undertake this record. We will gather the global civil society across the world. We will take again the help of Rotary International, because that is the strongest civil institution in the world, having the most membership. And we will take the help of many NGOs which we have already connected from across the world, including these 14 countries. We will fix a stable time, means suppose 7 o'clock on a particular date, that will be a local time of that country. And we will gather the people, we will register their names, we will invite the officials of Guinness Book of World Record, register everything to make it a documentation in black and white, and we will request the people to lit a candle for peace in a stadium or an open ground like that. This gathering will be a diversified gathering across the world, and as far as GMT is concerned, the time will be different in different countries, but it will be a same time as per their local timings, and the civil society and the people, they will lead the candle for the peace. The earlier record is just of 1 million. Our aim is to gather at least 1 billion people across the world. And I'm sure that for this noble cause, everybody will come forward and light a candle for peace. This is our intention.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can see Mr. Tariq Khan Niazi, and he actually got online at the Facebook by mistake, and he was watching all the program. But actually, this program is also live at the Facebook. We will carry on the question answer session, but here I would take a chance to introduce you about Mr. Tariq Khan Niazi. And let me tell you about him. That Dr. Tariq Khan Niazi, he's a Dubai-based media person holding a national and international status with an impressive professional background. And he's a Dubai-based, and he was the media advisor of South African President Nelson Mandela, beside being a member of editor's team of his book. And he started his professional career from the Pakistan Times and remained very close to the former president of Pakistan, Muhammad Ayub Khan. He served Palestinian Liberation Organization's newspaper, The Lotus, Dubai TV channel, Sharjah Broadcasting Station, FM 96, Nawai Waqt as a special correspondent in UAE, and overseas Pakistani edition as a senior editor, Geo TV Network, a UK-based newspaper, The London Post, Al Jazeera TV, overseas Pakistanis TV in California, and Pen Pakistan, and more. So he was the founding city editor of Khalij Times as well, and also the media officer of United Nations Higher Commissioner for Refugees. As a man of peace, Nelson Mandela said, "Peace is the greatest weapon for development that any person can have." So ladies and gentlemen, and peace lovers, we welcome to this former advisor of the Nelson Mandela, Mr. Tariq Khan Niazi. Please enlighten us with your beautiful thoughts in our platform of International Media Conference. Mr. Tariq Khan Niazi, over to you.
The galaxy of our peace lovers and audience watching and listening our World International Peace Conference on coalition call to defeat COVID-19. I am great admirer of the Islamic country and express Saudi Arabia and express my heartfelt felicitation on the auspicious occasion of 90th celebration of Al Saud monarchy, and with profound prayer pray for the long life and of His Royal Highness King Salman bin Muhammad Al Saud, and the Crown Prince and builder of modern Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the great people of Saudi Arabia. Mabruk alaf marra Eid al-Watni al-Yawm. And profound gratitude to the team who has successfully organized august occasion of today under the dynamic guidance and leadership of our great princess, Sameera Aziz, a superstar of Saudi Arabia, who by her long-standing achievements in Saudi Arabian media, she is Kokhabul Sharq and Sautul Arab, shining star of East and voice of Arab world. I salute all the components of this summit and who are driving force to accomplish this Herculean task as glowing success. I believe in this context that destiny is not the matter of chance, it is the matter of choice. It is not a thing to be wanted, it is a thing to be achieved. And Princess Sameera Aziz, and an admitted driving force, has proved it on many occasions, and I am the witness to it. Thank you very much, Sameera Aziz. You have provided a chance to the galaxy of speakers to express their valuable views on the COVID-19 pandemic, which has worldwide shattered the peace, life, economy, and ruin our beloved planet. Respected audience and the peace lovers, there was optimism. That optimism has gone. The world is poorest and most vulnerable people are being hit hard by the effect of the pandemic. The speed of the collapse is most worse than the Great Depression. We were coming from the society with less truth, that is legitimization of democracy, but with the honest democracy, which is in the eyes of today's one of the most respected world leader and the president of South Africa, President Nelson Mandela. I have a singular honor to serve under him as a media advisor for the South Asian affair. Once the journalist asked him a stark question about his, sir, what is the true and honest description of democracy? The great leader spontaneously replied, democracy is not end of kingship, but assumption of kingship by every citizen. In my opinion, the people can change their life conditions and status if they follow the democratic norms which were Nelson Mandela's narrative. Let me admit that COVID-19 economic growth was not socially inclusive and did not generate employment. We must admit one of the big shocks of the crisis is that international cooperation is much weaker, but at the same time, the domestic policies are much stronger. NDG, unfinished business, a major legacy of multilateralism, are the 17 goals that we can put in action. Now, COVID-19 pandemic has demonstrated that SDGs are applicable to all countries. Overcome to old pattern of specialization and moving into an energy transition, for example, and world top scientists work around the clock and develop the vaccine. We are also looking for out of the box policy solution of recovery, distribution rather than economic growth, and at the epicenter. As a community of governments, we should use the massive amount of government intervention to create a new world that is more in accord with our views of what our society should be like. We need to change the relationship between humankind and nature. Now we need to tell new stories and create new values and vision based on the future, not on the past. Remember, we are in this togetherness. No one will ever be truly safe until everyone is safe. I am absolutely confident that we can build back better. Unfortunately, the world is facing an unprecedented test, and this is moment of truth. Hundreds of thousands of people are falling seriously sick from COVID-19, and disease is spreading exponentially in many places. Societies are in turmoil and economies are facing nosedive situation. The International Monetary Fund has reassessed prospects of growth of 2020 and 2021, declaring that we have entered a recession as bad as worse than in 2009. Locate your cognitive biases. In Italy, it is early stage and COVID-19 crisis look nothing like a crisis. The initial state of emergency declaration were met by skepticism by both the public and many in the policy circle, even though several scientists had been warning of the politicians for the catastrophe for weeks. Indeed, in late February, some of the notable Italian politicians engaged in public handshaking in Milan to make the point that the economy should not panic and stop because of wealth. A week later, one of these politicians was diagnosed with COVID-19 positive. Ironically enough, even US President Donald Trump first defended his administration coronavirus response following new revelation that he admitted downplaying the threat of COVID-19 amid worldwide spread in March 2020. Interview with the journalist Bob Woodward, in such was the approach by the superpower president, then how could the politicians and rulers of third world would behave? We salute to the Pakistan's brave and lion-hearted Prime Minister Imran Khan, who despite constant severe criticism by the Pakistani opposition parties who insisted to put the nation under all-out lockdown. Prime Minister Imran Khan decided to implement a smart lockdown to save 80% of the poor population, the working labor class of daily wages, from starvation, which is now being applauded worldwide today. We don't know who are the troublemongers of COVID-19, but we must be gentle towards our planet. Don't block Mother Nature. In the Quran, it is said that فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. The God says, Allah says that wherever there is a problem, we have kept a relief also. 2 times it is declared. And I am very thankful to Ms. Sameera Aziz and all others who have patiently listened to me and another and the peace-loving people, you know. I salute to my viewers and the listeners. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khalid, Dr. Tariq Khan Niazi, and I agree with you actually. As a community of governments, we should use the massive amount of government intervention to create a new world that is more in accord with our views of whatever society should be like. And I agree with you actually when you said that we need to change the relationship between the humankind and nature. In fact, I'm happy for your optimistic approach. You are absolutely confident that we can build back better. The COVID-19 has given us a great challenge, and we as a human being have a power actually to work unitedly to save the humanity. So now I would like to come again to our Q&A session. And I want our technical manager, Mr. Junaid, please unmute everyone's mic. I have a question actually. I'm a journalist as well, so I always have lots of questions. If you will not ask, I will ask to everyone. And I have a question with the Rotary Club. People, as you are joining the team of Mr. Niliban for the peace mission, I want to know what is your strategy, because definitely this COVID-19 will be gone. And we are a human being and we have a power to control it. COVID-19 cannot control us. So what Rotary Club will do the joint efforts in the peace mission? I want to know it.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank each and every person for giving us Rotary Club of Nagpur opportunity for working in the mission of international peace. Ma'am, would like to inform everyone that Rotary Club is a very big organization internationally, having a member of 12.5 lakhs approximately. And India is having second number, 1,40,000 members approx. So it is a big network to communicate anything, and it's a global international peace cause mission. We can work on it, and we can spread to all over the world with the help of every members of Rotarians, because the peace is required for not only Rotarians but each and every person in the world. So we can spread out the messages through our Rotary clubs, in meetings, and in every clubs, to communicate with members and to members to each and every locality of all over the world. This is our mission. We can work on that, and we sure that we will surely get success in this mission.
Great, good wishes, best wishes from our side. Anybody has a question, they can ask the question.
I would like to add to Tushar's statement that reaching the dream of Nila sir of having a Guinness record of more than 10 million people, 1 billion people, we will surely reach it, and we'll make sure that we reach each and every Rotary Club across the globe to spread this message.
We have here, so I think 3 or 4 organizations who are all working for the peace in the world. We have SPMUDA International, we have Rotary Club, we have Peace Mission. We have individual people, so many I can see here, who are working individually or with the group for the mission of peace. So I congratulate to all of you for living such a high standard of life. This is a quality of life which we actually, choose for ourselves, how we spend our life in the world. And we all have to die one day, but to be living with some purpose for the humanity, for me, it's a high standard of life. The high standard of life, the high quality of life is not by the money. It's not about the wealth. It's about what you did for the humanity. I would like to ask anyone, if anyone wants to ask any question. Our platform is there. Anyone from them, if any question you have. We have Mr. Shyam Singhania, we have Mr. Tariq Khan Niazi, we have Mr. Niliband. If you have any question from their speeches, you have listened to them, you can ask them.
I have to ask a question to Shyamji Singhania.
Yeah,
Sir,
Mr.
can you suggest in what way Rotary should work for international peace?
Mr. Singhania, can you hear us? I think Mr. Singhania has logged out, maybe.
Logged out?
Maybe, I don't know. Mr. Singhania is there? Okay. I think now we don't have any question. If anybody has to ask any other question to anyone. Yeah. So I think nobody has any question, nobody has anything to say. So we are now going ahead. It's a time to say a thank you note to all of you. So Thank you, peace lovers. Thank you so much. And our hearts should be full of gratitude and boundless optimism while we move ahead, determined, united, and ready to welcome the new era after defeating COVID-19, inshallah. And we will salute to all those medical team, paramedics, and volunteers who fought and is still fighting in the difficult times of COVID-19. Thanks for their sacrifices, their bravery, and their tireless compassion. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm from Saudi Arabia, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, under the leadership of custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman and His Highness the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, may God protect them. They have made great efforts in the face of the COVID-19. It started with proactive decisions and imposing strict precautionary measures. And our King Salman ordered that COVID-19 treatment be made available for all, including expatriates in the country, on the basis of humanity. He made many announcements to care for the population of Saudi Arabia. We are ambitious to reach for new heights of our national achievement of Saudi Vision 2030. Dear peace lovers, I really appreciated the time you spent for International Peace Conference today, and your presence here is clear proof that you value peace and humanity, and that's how you have been contributing to make this world a better place to live in. I'm grateful for the peacekeepers and members of the Rotary Club and World Peace Friendship Mission, and also for each and every person who attended this conference, and even those who will watch this conference later in the recording. I'm also extremely grateful to our speakers, Mr. Shyam Singhania, Dr. Tariq Khan Niazi, and Mr. Nileben for their thought-provoking speeches for the betterment of the world. And I'm thankful for the founder of SPMUDA International, His Royal Highness Dr. Kamad Ali, who is my papa, and I'm proud of being his official princess daughter. I'm thankful for him for trusting me to organize this International Peace Conference today. And yes, thank you, Dr. Amor Pendalide, for delivering the message of His Royal Highness Dr. Kamal Ali. And ladies and gentlemen, the world is a global village, and we will defend our planet against the threats and protect against all dangers. We promise that we will rekindle new confidence and new spirit that can only be realized through love for humanity without any discrimination. We can collectively overcome the enormous challenge before us and use the crisis of COVID-19 as an opportunity to rebuild a more sustainable world. Ladies and gentlemen, peace lovers, and my dear sisters and brothers, on this International Peace Conference, let us together pray, may our world prosper always and be saved. Now, at this moment, I would like to say all of you a beautiful goodbye with a lovely promise that we will continue our efforts for peace and never lose hopes. Together we can fight and defeat COVID-19. Thank you so much, my dear peace lovers. Ma salama, bye-bye.